the Philippines is still in its infancy, and 3 Filipinos are emerging as the pioneers of Pinoy racing. They joined us in our studio yesterday, fresh from a grueling 25-hour marathon car race over the weekend. Here is that interview. Kapamilya, joining us in the studio is a team of Pinoy race car drivers who've been dubbed the Fast Filipinos. Now, Philippine race car veteran Angelo is with us. Model and actress Gaby de Merced, who was racing long before her showbiz career, and Phil-Am racing coach Robbie. And they have just completed 25 hours of Thunderhill. This is an endurance car race that lasts 25 straight hours of driving. Grabe. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
now, you 3 were part of this 5-man team that competed in this international car racing competition against other teams from other countries.
Yes.
What was it like to be part of that?
Well, basically, well, for me, it's my very first race in the U.S. and it's my very first endurance race, so it was very overwhelming seeing people from all across, you know, competing in this big race. It was a very big grid. It's the biggest grid I've been with so far. It's 68 cars to be exact.
Wow.
So it was intense.
But when you say endurance race, because what we know is that, sige, pabilisan kayo magpatakbo ng kotse. And 25 hours, so you're part of a racetrack? How was it like?
Yeah, the race is held at a closed racetrack at Thunderhill Raceway. So it's a purpose-built racetrack where, you know, they close it down, and it's specifically run for this one event. So from 11 o'clock on Saturday till 12 o'clock noon on Sunday, it was the 25 hours at Thunderhill. So it was a very long race. It's the longest race they hold in North America, and the track will house all 68 teams. And
were there specific, you know, like lanes or tracks per team, per car? Because you said earlier during the pre-interview, you 3, you guys, the members of the team were all in one car, right?
Yes.
And then you're competing with 68 other cars.
Yes.
So were there specific lanes, or would you just overtake one another?
Well,
how does it work?
basically what it is there is a racetrack, a course with left and right turns, elevation changes that we have to maneuver. And we try to get the best time per lap, going through the traffic, making iwas the slower cars, giving just enough room to the faster cars so you can catch a draft down the straight.
How do you change drivers? That's very
Well,
amazing.
that's one of the fun things. Let's say we were going to start the race with Gaby. When she starts, she's strapped in, she's got her radio, her seat belt, she's comfortable. When Robbie comes into the car after her 1 hour driving, she has to get out of the car as fast as she can, and Robbie has to get in, and she now has to help Robbie do his seat belts, plug his radio, put the steering wheel back on.
And this all happens during the 25 hours sprint, right?
Yes,
We
we
do this
do
many
basically
times.
1
What
hour
was your
shift.
top speed when you were doing this race?
I think down the longest straightaway we get up to about 140 miles per hour.
Wow, that's fast. Now, this race is supposed to be a launching pad for other Filipino racers, right? And tell us more about this program that you
Well,
were...
Team Philippines Racing is basically a program to generate awareness about the talent and the ability of the Filipino in motorsport. And we're starting with Gaby and Robbie here in the U.S. so that we can set an example for the next generation to follow. Gaby's very accomplished in Formula cars, Robbie in Formula cars, winning championships here in the U.S. And habang bata pa sila, while they're still young, they can set a ladder that other drivers can follow.
Well, you have to be young to have the courage to do this. And you, young lady, you are a girl. How did you start doing this?
Well, I grew up with boys. So let's
Okay.
just say, you know, Barbies and all that other girly stuff wasn't that popular in the house. But my brothers love video games, and when I started playing, I got really hooked into motorsport video games. And, you know, I started bugging my parents when I was in high school, and finally,
They gave in.
they caved in when my
Okay,
18th
your
birthday.
mom, because I'm a mom. So did
Uh-huh.
your mom say, Iha, maglaro ka na lang ng manika. Huwag ka na mag-race-race ng
I think
car.
she still wishes that up to now.
Okay.
But yeah, but she's just very concerned about it. But as what my mom saw in racing, it's very safe if you race the right way. If you get into well-sanctioned races, it's all FIA standards, and it's very, very safe.
Okay. But
Safety's number one in racing.
it has to be. Well, maraming salamat, and hoping that your example could really make the future of car racing in the Philippines in a safe environment really successful. Thank you for
Thank you.
being with
Thank you.
us.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for the support, and thanks for the support of the Filipinos who stand behind us.
Yes, thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Kapamilya, only 16 days to go before Christmas. And that is Balitang America Today. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories that